Hey you guys, it's Teresa and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about my most anticipated reads of 2018. Well, sort of. I put it from January to August because that was about as much as I could fit in a video. And some of these books, some of the other books that I saw were still kind of undecided. So I kind of chose my top 2 to 3, my top 3 of each month, and some of the other months have less than 3, less than 2, so what are you gonna do? Some of them have more than 3, but those are honorable mentions. So let's get into it. So the first book that I'm most anticipating is actually Black Enough, which is written by, Black Enough, Stories of Being Young and Black in America, and it is written by multiple authors, and I believe it's already out. Yes. Came out January 8th, and it's an anthology edited by E.B. Zaboy, which dives into the thoughts of closeted teens, hidden experiences, and struggles of Black teens from across the country, and I believe some of them are also own voices, short stories, as well as biographical. So I'm excited to pick up this book. I haven't heard a ton about it. It did come out a couple days ago, but I haven't heard anyone read it yet, so we'll see. The next book is Stain by A.G. Howard, and this one comes out January 15th, so I believe it just came out 4 days ago. And this is a Princess and the Pea retelling. A.G. Howard is kind of well known for that. I still have to read his Alice in Wonderland retelling series, but my sister has those books. So this essentially follows Princess and the Pea, and instead she is incapable of making speech or sound and is run off from her kingdom and has to come back and fight for it back, and there's love and romance, as most of these kind of amazing high fantasy novels tend to be. The next one is The Love and Lies of Rukhsana Ali by Sabina Khan. This comes out January 22nd, so very close. And this follows 17-year-old Rukhsana Ali as she tries to live to her Muslim parents' expectations. And all of that is working out well. She's planning on leaving the house to become her own person. And then her family finds her kissing her current girlfriend and is sent, I believe, send her to Bangladesh, where she kind of is thrown into this culture she doesn't understand, and ends up reading her grandma's diary to get some perspective in her life. Moving on into February, I decided one of the books that I saw that was really interesting is Courting Darkness by Robin Lefebvre. But this comes out February 5th, and it is essentially Sabella's been the darkest of Death's daughters. She's one of Death's daughters. Interesting. And in a desperate attempt to save her younger sisters, she runs to the Duchess of France, and they find themselves surrounded by enemies. It sounds interesting, and it looks like there's going to be some LGBT rep in here, and it just sounds cool. Yeah, that's about all I can really say, so it sounds cool. The next book also comes out February 5th, and that is On the Come Up by Angie Thomas. This is her second novel ever, and after, The Hate You Give, you can't really go wrong with Angie Thomas. But this essentially follows 17-year-old Brie as she wants to become the most famous rappers of all time, or at least wants to be. She is the daughter of an underground rap legend before he had died, and now that the bills are piling up and everything else, it becomes more imperative for her to become successful to help out around the house. So I think this is very close to Angie Thomas's heart. She talks about this being her baby. I think this is a little bit autobiographical as well, and dives more into her personal life in this book, but I'm excited to read it nonetheless because it's Angie Thomas. And moving into March, and the first book comes out March 5th, and that is You Asked for Perfect by Laura Silverman. This follows Ariel Stone, who's essentially perfect. He gets perfect grades, student body council president, all that stuff, valedictorian. Was not even in the running for valedictorian in high school, so kudos to him. And then he ends up making a lot of mistakes, apparently, that it seems. Especially towards calculus, which is where he failed the test in, and kind of throws a wrench in his idea of perfect. And I guess another LGBT story, because he kind of ends up finding this Amir, and it just kind of adds to a long list of problems he already has for his senior year, and I'm excited to read it. I think I've heard nothing but great about Laura Silverman. I'm sure that once you put one of her books in front of my face, it'll make more sense, but her name does sound familiar. This cover and the title sounds extra familiar, so I think I've either heard of this book coming out in 2017, or either that, or she has other books out that I've heard a ton about. The next book comes out March 12th, and that is The Opposite of Always by Justin A. Reynolds. Now this follows kind of Jack Ellison King, who is almost the king of almost. Almost got the girl, almost got the A, almost became valedictorian, which, I mean, if you're almost valedictorian, I think I would count that as a win. But essentially, he meets this girl at a party, and everything kind of, he falls really hard for her, and it's almost there, and their love story almost made it. And I am excited to read this. I don't know how this is going to work out exactly, but the cover looks so interesting and so pretty, and it sounds heartbreaking. So here's to March. Here's to March. And the last book in March comes out March 19th, and that is Internment by Samira Ahmed. This is a horrifyingly near future in the United States of America, where all the Muslim teens or Muslim American citizens are first forced into internment camps. Sounds very terrifying. And she kind of has the main character, Layla, has to fight for her freedom and all that stuff. And it just sounds really, 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 really intense. In April, we have The Lost by Natasha Preston. This comes out April 2nd, and this is a YA thriller. I'm going to give these one more chance, but she's supposed to be pretty great. So essentially, in a small town, teens go missing all the time, but when one of Piper and Hazel's friends go missing, they have to find out who killed them, where they went, and kind of end up stuck in the middle of a privately owned forest trying to survive. So the premise sounds really like simple, cutthroat, not a lot of problems to it, which I feel like a lot of YA thrillers, I've only read one, so I don't know why I'm saying a lot, but YA thrillers to me tend to be in that same vein. The next one is The Descendant of the Crane by Joan Hay, and this comes out again April 2nd. And this is, after Princess Hasina of Yan's father is murdered, she's thrust into the throne, and she has to find out who killed her father by engaging the aid of a soothsayer, which is a treacherous act in their time. It sounds very fantasy, and it's very Asian, and I need more Asian rep in my fantasies, so we're gonna go with it. The next one is The Raven's Tale by Kat Winters. This comes out April 19th, and this follows, well, it's a fun little retelling of Edgar Allan Poe as he escapes his foster family, joins university, and then marries his long-loved Elmira Roster, which I think that one is fictionalized, but I don't remember names very well. And he ends up, and all of his plans go go awry. I can't talk, it's fine. When he meets the muses, and he kind of, it's supposed to be like a weird prose telling of like his poem, The Raven. So I'm excited because it's Edgar Allan Poe. It involves his poem, The Raven. So let's just kind of go with it. And it's fantasy. Moving into May, we have A Court of Miracles by Kester Grant. This is a weird retelling / mashup of Les Mis and The Jungle Book, where it involves a cat burglar in Paris and royalty. I don't know a lot. It's like a lot of things to unpack in the synopsis. So we're just kind of going to go with it because it's Les Mis. It's Paris in the 1800s. It's The Jungle Book. It's a lot of things I like. I still don't, it's just a lot. The next book comes out May 14th or May 11th. I messed up the writing of it, but one of those 2 days, and it is We Contain Multitudes by Sarah Henstra. This is it's Aristotle and the Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe meets I'll Give You the Sun, where two teenage boys kind of grow a relationship by kind of sending letters back and forth to one another, and they find that they are dealing with kind of bullying, homophobia, and family secrets, and it sounds really heartbreaking, and I'm all for it, and I'm gonna cry a lot, but it's fine, because I have read neither Aristotle or Dante, nor I'll Give You the Sun, but I have heard both goods are really both books are really good. Then we have Again But Better by Christine Riccio, which comes out May 21st. Christine is a booktuber here, fellow booktuber, and she finally got a book published, so I'm very excited for her. We'll just kind of give her a nice round of applause for getting there, as we all dream to be. But this follows Shane, who has kind of been doing college wrong, you know, pre-med, stellar grades, happy parents, all that stuff, but she like has made zero friends, zero memories at all. So she finally goes to study abroad for 1 semester or a year and finds to make like, you know, pursue boys, get adventure, all that fun stuff that you tend to do when you travel abroad. And she finds herself kind of thrown in this really weird situation. Then the last book coming out in May, I think this one's May 18th, could be wrong, but it's somewhere there, and it is I Wish You All the Best by Mason Deaver. This follows a non-binary character, I believe Ben, who has come out to their parents and is kicked out and has to live with their estranged sister's family while they kind of figure out a new school, and ends up falling head over heels for Nathan. It looks really cute. The cover is precious. I have heard from people who have read the arcs that this is a wonderful book. So let's again give another round of applause for Mason and for their wonderful own wonderful novel, which is also on Voices. And then coming out in June, specifically June 4th, I believe is the tentative date, is Children of Virtue and Vengeance by Tomi Adeyemi. This is the sequel to Children of Blood and Bones by Tomi Adeyemi, and I believe it had been pushed back, and essentially since this is a sequel, I don't want to give away what is going on. But this fall is like a weird Avatar situation, but in Africa. It's based off of African fantasy, and here all the magic has been torn away by those who don't have magic, and in an attempt to bring it back, Zele, who is the main character, must kind of traverse her hometown of Orisha, her home country of Orisha, to find these missing pieces, while also kind of dealing with the unlikely friends / enemies / lovers she makes along the way. The last one in June is Tell Me How You Feel by Amina May Safi, which comes out June 11th, and this is, from what I'm seeing from the cover and from what is being advertised, it is a hate-to-love relationship with lesbians. That's all you really need to know. I've been waiting for a rom-com like this for years, so here we go. So yeah, June is going to be an interesting month. Then July we have Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim, and this comes out July 30th, and it has been advertised as Project Runway meets Milan, but also if you really like Sarah J. Maas or Renee Audier's writing, you would probably like this book. And honestly, you had me I was sold at Project Runway meets Milan. So, but this essentially is a young girl who poses as a boy to compete in a fashion competition for the emperor and to make magic dresses, and yeah. That's all you really need to know. It sounds pretty great, and again, more Asian rep in YA high fantasy, so I'm not complaining because we really need it. Then in August, which is kind of the one which will have a ton of honorable mentions, the first one that I actually am anticipating for is A Dress for the Wicked by Autumn Krause, and this comes out August 6th. This is a high-stakes fashion scene reimagined 19th century Europe. Essentially, it's a lot of dresses, lots of fashion. She's a country girl who didn't think she'd be here, but now she's here. So she has to fight to keep her position, I believe. But I just see the word dress and fashion and France, and you know I'm sold. So let's just leave it there. The next book that I'm excited for is The House of Salt and Sorrows by Aaron A. Craig. This comes out August 6th, and it is essentially 12 sisters who live on an isolated estate, and then there's a curse who kills her sisters, and it sounds, ghostly visions are in here. Her sisters have been sneaking out every night to attend glittering balls, dancing until dawn, but not sure. Oh, is this the one with the pirates? I think it involves pirates, but really I'm not complaining. It sounds interesting. She meets a mysterious stranger with secrets. She joins them on a night and finds that there's a lot of problems with what they're doing, aside from, like, you know, the sneaking out. So interested in that. Then finally we have Of Ice and Shadows by Audrey Coulthurst, which comes out August 13th. This is her sequel to Of Fire and Stars, and we kind of follow Mare and Denna, I just shoved their names together, as they kind of figure out their powers again, or Denna's powers? Yeah, one of their powers, I don't remember their names. Yes, Denna's powers while they meet a new queen, and all that fun stuff. And then for all of the other honorable mentions in August, it's literally, there are a lot of mermaid books coming out, mermaid theme books coming out in August, so literally all of them are my honorable mentions, just all of them. We'll just pop up on the screen here. that is it for my anticipated releases from January to August. There is a lot coming out, and not gonna lie, my wallet will be dead come August because there are so many of those books coming out. Like, you can't just shove a bunch of mermaid-centered novels or ocean-centered novels in 1 month and not expect me to die over them. So here's to hoping I enjoy all these books that are coming out, but judging by some of the other booktubers have gotten ARCs, who have talked about this book for ages, I expect nothing but the best. So here's to hoping I love them all, and if I end up picking up any of these books, or the majority of these books, you bet your monkey's uncle that there will be a tea talk on it. But if you have any more questions on the books that I'm anticipating, I'm going to be making a general overall Goodreads list, which I will involve somewhere in the list link down below. If you want to talk more about the books you're anticipated for, we have a comment section which you can leave, as well as like literally all my social media links, which will be in the description below. Subscribe if you like these videos, like if you like these videos, helps me figure out what kind of videos to put out there for y'all. And until then, I'll talk to you guys literally everywhere else. I do subscribe twice a week, so look out for those. Bye.